Legion of Superheroes number 11, written by Paul Levitz, art by Francis Portela and Andre Guinaldo. Last issue, we left off with the whole team of, I don't know, ex-Legion members, whatever you want to call them, who are currently trying to find Brainiac 5 and Dreamstar. I can't remember their names anymore. So anyway, they're making their way to the Dominator's world, and apparently they disguise themselves as a very large asteroid or something like that. And so all the ships just move out of the way and let it crash towards the planet. And as they get closer in, they disperse and show the rest of the team is, hidden inside of it. And they all start making their way down to the planet, trying to figure out where they are. They have, what's his name? Mwindaji, that's his name, doing his tracking skills in order to find the scent of Brainiac and Stargirl or whatever. I know it's not Stargirl, but I genuinely can't remember it. So I'm just going to call her Stargirl. Dream Girl. I'll call her Dream Girl. So at this point, they crash on the planet, and the Dominators see this happening, and it's just like, that's something. It's weird that this comet came this close to the planet, but whatever. I guess we'll just ignore it for now. So we cut over to Brainiac and Dream Girl, who are just basically talking like, hey, it's kind of weird that nobody hasn't come yet to get us, right? And Brainiac's like, I'm sure it's some political thing, some political hoo-ha that's stopping them, but regardless, we will find a way out of this. And we see that immediately the Dominators are coming in and they're ready to make their final moves on Dream Girl and Brainiac 5. And they go to inject them with something to which they fight back against, but then immediately everybody, including the Dominators, start losing their focus for some reason. And I'm not sure why. It just, Brainiac has an unnatural effect. Okay? But then the roof comes crashing in, and it's the rescue team. And what basically happens is just a moderately long fight scene. They knock out everybody in the room. But then Brainiac specifically says, like, hey, they took my force field belt. I'm not leaving without that. And they're like, dude, it's tough. We're leaving. And he's just like, no. Like, you can leave. I'm staying until I get it. So Mwindaji finds that it's through the portal nearby. So they make their way through because they're going to stick together as a team regardless. And then we got back to Earth where Mon-El is basically being chewed out by Cosmic Lad. Just like, hey, you were supposed to be a leader. That's why you were voted in this place. And we're just sitting here doing nothing. And Mon-El immediately lashes back like, I'm doing everything I can. I let those guys go in order to make the best option that we have. And I've been looking for other options the whole time. I'm trusting the life of our fellow Legionnaires into this team that was thrown together in like 5 minutes. So give me a break. So that just happens. We don't ever even cut back to it. But anyway, they make their way to the place where this belt was being picked apart and tried to figure out how to use it. And they see that they ended up destroying some Legion flight rings. And they're like, why would you destroy? This is stupid. No one else can make a Legion flight ring. So he manages to track that it's inside of a certain wall, and it doesn't seem like there's any way to access it. But then Brainiac just touches it a few times, and it just springs open, to which everyone's like, dude, how did you do that? And he's like, I don't tell you guys all my powers, wink. So at that point, a couple more Dominators show up, another fight scene breaks out. And they're all fighting, but seemingly losing, like they are on the lower hand here. And at a certain point, Brainiac is in hand-to-hand combat with one of the Dominators who's like, oh, we will find out what makes you so special. And he's like, I'm what makes me so special. You can't get the soul of me or whatever. And then all of a sudden he's blasted with fire. And we find out that Comet Queen, I believe her name is betraying the group for some reason. She just says, that's like a present, Starshine, from someone who really, really didn't like you. And then Dream Girl just bitch smacks her and says you're the one who I saw betray us in my vision. Why? To which she doesn't respond. But the rest of the team is all knocked out except for Comet Queen. And the Dominators take them all hostage and be like, cool. Let's bring them all to the Primus Dominator and see what they want to do with this one who helped us. And that's it. Okay. Like, it follows the story. I'm okay with it happening, but like, I'm so uninterested. And that's just me. I'm not intrigued by this Legion thing. They've given me no reason to care. Like, they're relying on me already having feelings for Dream Girl and Brainiac 5, but I don't. They never have developed them as like interesting characters. They're just relying on you knowing them already. And especially with this secondary team of like Triplicate Girl and I don't even know who else. Like, I don't care about none of these characters I have any interest in. And that's honestly a fault of the fact that there's like 80 characters and you're trying to give focus to all of them. I don't like it. That's just on me. Maybe if you were into Legion, this would be better, but I can't speak from that mindset. And especially with this betrayal out of nowhere from Comic Queen. Like, this wasn't seeded, and I don't know anything about Comic Queen. I don't know if she's like supposed. All I know is she's really into Bouncing Boy, which I don't even know why I know that. That doesn't seem critical at all. So no, overall, I give this one. See, I don't want to be too hard in case it is something good to people who actually like the Legion. But for me personally, like, I want to give it a 4. But I'll bump it up to a 5 on the offhand that people who are really into Legion like this. I will say, this is something I found out between the issue itself, like the individual single printed issue, to the trade. The individual single printed issues kept the name back, like boxes of all the characters. Like, every issue, the first appearance of each character, they would get their little name box popping up. So you'd be able to remember them. For some unforsaken reason, they took those out of the trade, making it impossible to read. So that's just on DC editorial. I guess I can't blame the issue itself on that. That's on editorial, but it's how I'm reading it, so it sucks.